Law number 1. Always make those above you feel comfortably superior. In your desire to please and impress them, do not go too far in displaying your talents, or you might accomplish the opposite. Inspire fear and insecurity. Make your masters appear more brilliant than they are, and you will attain the heights of power. Now you will ask, how to identify this master? It's simple. Anyone who have greater power than you. It could be your rich friend, any relative of yours. It could be anyone who is outshining you in this present time. And trying to outshine that person will be an invitation to many problems. In many cases, you may naturally outshine them by your charm and grace. The lesson is simple. If you cannot help being charming and superior, you must learn to avoid such monsters of vanity. Either that, or find a way to mute your good qualities when in the company of people who could harm you. For an instance, if you have seen Classroom of the Elite, at first you didn't expect that this guy would be a manipulator, because Ayanokoji used this law to trick everyone. He remained stealth and watched everyone else's moves and behavior. Didn't make a mistake of outshining his abilities to others, and when the time came, he left everyone astonished. On the other side, knowing the dangers of outshining your master, you can turn this law to your advantage. First, you must flatter and puff up your master. Overt flattery can be effective but has its limits. It is too direct and obvious, and looks bad to other people. Discreet flattery is much more powerful if you are more intelligent than your master. For example, seem the opposite. Make him appear more intelligent than you. Act naive. Make it seem that you need his expertise. It is okay to play the role of the court jester. He must appear as the sun, the center of attention. Any attempt to impress him with your grace and generosity can prove fatal. Now you will ask, how the hell are we supposed to gain power if we don't show our capabilities? In all of these cases, it is not a weakness to disguise your strengths, if in the end they lead to power. By letting others outshine you, you remain in control instead of being a victim of their insecurity. This will all come in handy the day you decide to rise above your inferior status. If your superior is a fallen star, there is nothing to fear from outshining him. Do not be merciful. Your master had no such scruples in his own cold-blooded climb to the top. Gauge his strength. If he is weak, discreetly hasten his downfall. Outdo, outcharm, outsmart him at key moments. If he is very weak and ready to fall, let nature take its course. But if your master is firm in his position, yet you know yourself to be the more capable, be patient. It is the natural course of things that power eventually fades and weakens. Your master will fall someday, and if you play it right, you will outlive and someday outshine him. I know, ordinary people won't be able to understand what is being discussed in this video. Only people who want to achieve power can understand this. Or you can say, people who know the experience of working with their superior can truly relate to this concept. Now for you to understand completely, I am giving you a disclosure of a victim who didn't follow this rule in his situation. Nicolas Fouquet, Louis XIV's finance minister in the first years of his reign, was a generous man who loved lavish parties, pretty women, and poetry. He also loved money. Fouquet was clever and very much not needed to the king. So when the prime minister, Jules Mazarin, died in 1661, the finance minister expected to be named the successor. Instead, the king decided to abolish the position. This and other signs made Fouquet suspect that he was falling out of favor from king. So he decided to flatter the king by staging the most spectacular party the world had ever seen. The party's fake purpose would be to commemorate the completion of Fouquet's castle, but its real function was to pay tribute to the king, the guest of honor, the most brilliant nobility of Europe and some of the greatest minds of the time attended the party. The party began with a lavish 7-course dinner, featuring foods from the Orient never before tasted in France. The meal was accompanied with music commissioned by Fouquet to honor the king. After dinner, there was a promenade through the sieged gardens. Fouquet personally accompanied the young king for arrangements of shrubbery and flower beds. Arriving at the garden's canals, they witnessed a fireworks display. The party ran well into the night, and everyone agreed it was the most amazing affair they had ever attended. But the story doesn't end here. Here comes the twist. The next day, Fukai was arrested by the king's head commander. 3 months later, he was accused of stealing from the country's treasury. Actually, most of the stealing he was accused of, he had done on the king's behalf and with the king's permission. Fukai was found guilty and sent to the most isolated prison in France, where he spent the last 20 years of his life in solitary confinement. The sole purpose of giving this reference to you is to make you realize that what can be the consequences of no following the law when in the company of people like Louis XIV.
Hey guys, Dojo this side. I wanted to say something before ending this video. I know that I have taken more than long enough time for the first chapter. It's because I had final exams this month and couldn't pay attention towards the series, but I'll try to be regular with all episodes from now on. And one more thing, there will be different anime characters who will teach you these laws. And I will be teaching you the next law, which is never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. Till then.
さよなら。